After testing hundreds of cable management products, sometimes I feel like I've seen it all. Being the cable guru here at BTOD, I'm always looking for new ways to clean up a desk. So I bought 5 highly rated options on Amazon to see if they're worth it. Alright, first up is the Zilink 40-inch no-drill cable tray, and I'm happy to say that this product is one I would definitely recommend. I've tested a bunch of what I call cable tacos, where it's a softer fabric wrap that acts like a tray under your desk. And up until now, my favorite has been the Escrano tray. But the problem is, that one is $150. So when I saw that this was still 40 inches long, but only $40, I was immediately interested. Assembly is really simple. It's basically these tent-style poles that go together, then you slide them into the tray and it holds its shape really well. For installation, you can clamp it on or drill it onto your desk. And there's a good amount of adjustment range for different desktop thicknesses. Now, one thing you absolutely need to think about with anything this long on your desk is whether or not your monitor arm situation is compatible. If you're clamping an arm to the back of your desk, this tray can get in the way. I barely made this combination work. But once it's on, the capacity is awesome. I love that it works with a longer power strip where the outlets can be spread out, especially when you have those chunky power adapters. One of the best things about these cable tacos is that they hide the cables from the front and back of the desk, and they're super easy to drop open to make changes. Because of how hidden everything inside is, it's up to you how well you want to keep things tidy or sloppy inside the tray. Overall, the materials feel really nice. Is it as premium as something like the Human Scale NeatTech or Escrano? Not quite, but for only a third of the price, who cares? If you want to see how I rank all of the most popular cable products, click the link in the description to receive the guide. Next up is the PegZone Vertical Organizer, and this is one of the more unique cable management products I've seen for a while, because it's not just a tray, it's more of a mix between a tray, shelf system, and even has hooks to hang things from. The biggest advantage here is you don't have to buy a bunch of different products and then try to Frankenstein them together under your desk. It's also surprisingly cheap, $28 for black and only $26 for white. For installation, you can adjust where the clamps sit. This is nice because it lets you work around different desk setups. But just like that long fabric tray, if you're using a monitor arm, you need to make sure you have room for your monitor arm clamp. You can also move the shelves and hooks around wherever you want. The openings at the top can hold cables in place, and then you can use the included Velcro strap to secure cables along the flat surface. Here's where I broke one of my big personal rules, and I actually used zip ties. They seem like the easiest way to attach the power strip, mounting it up rather than having it sit on the shelf. I found the best use for the hooks was for something like a laptop power cable. This way you can have it managed in the back, but still be able to grab it and take it with you when needed. There's a couple things I don't personally love. First, I generally prefer cable management products that can be screwed directly onto your desk, and there's no option for that here. You're locked into the clamp mounting. And second, it's not the cleanest final look. Functional, yes. Is it beautiful? Not so much. Staying with PegZone, the next product is their 31.5-inch metal cable tray. And compared to the vertical organizer, this one is more simple and it's more stylish. This time we can actually screw it onto the bottom of the desk, which again, I personally prefer. One thing that's pretty unique about this tray is the design. It's a 2-part system. You screw the vertical portion onto the desk first, and then the horizontal tray snaps into it. At first, I thought that snap-in design might feel kind of unstable, but honestly, once it was installed, it felt solid to me. Price-wise, it's right around $30 for either the black or the white versions. Now, because you're drilling it into the desk, you get a little more freedom when it comes to placement. With screw-mounted trays, you can always push the tray further back under the desk so it stays out of the way of your monitor arm clamp. Another option I like is that PegZone also sells 15.7-inch versions, so you can buy 2 of those for around the same total price. And then you can mount them with a gap in the middle where your monitor arm clamp would go. This tray can also be installed facing the front or the back of your desk, depending on where you actually want to access your cables. And just like the other PegZone product, you've got openings where you can strap down bundles of cables, and plus you have plenty of room for power strips and chunky power bricks. Now the trade-off is it's not the perfect solution if your main goal is hiding the cables. It's more of an organize everything neat type of tray, not a hide everything completely type tray. But if you want something with a lot of usable space for around $30, this is a strong option. So many of the products I test are for under your desk, hiding cables and organizing them, but this next one is different because it helps you eliminate the need to do so much cable management in the first place. This is the NFHK Desk Grommet USB Hub. The whole idea here is that instead of having more cables running all the way back to your computer, you can add a USB hub to the top of your desk. This hub can drop right into a grommet hole, and then you just run one cable down to your PC. After that, you can use shorter cables on the top of your desk to connect your gadgets. Now, I realize not everyone has a grommet hole in your desk, but honestly, don't worry about that. If you have a wood or laminate desktop, it's actually very cheap and easy to add one. I bought a set of grommet covers and a hole saw on Amazon for $11. Just make sure that you match the hole saw size to the hub you buy. I'll link a video where our expert Derek explains exactly how to do this. Once installed, it's one of those productivity upgrades, making things easier. You can plug in headphones right at the top of your desk, which is way faster and easier than running a cable down to your computer. You can plug in mouse and keyboard dongles to keep them closer to your accessories, and my favorite use is running a short USB-C cable so I can connect my phone or tablet to my PC. This keeps me from having a giant cable draped across my whole desk. This model also has a cable pass-through, so you can tuck longer cables down through the opening. Now this definitely won't be for everyone, but for me, I love the simplicity. My last product is the AOC Cable Hider Raceway Kit. I've tested a bunch of these raceways in the past with a pretty wide range of success. I'm happy to say this is one of the best ones I've tested. The reason you'd use raceways like this is simple. They're really compact. They let you get cables tight up against the underside of your desk, and then you can pack them pretty full. This gives you a really clean look without needing a big tray. The trade-off is you don't want to be going in and out of these all the time. This is definitely a set it and leave it alone type of cable management. And it also won't help you at all with the power strips or bulky power bricks, so you'll need to have a plan for those. There's a couple options for installation. You can screw them on, use the magnetic strips if you have a metal desk, or you can do what I did and use the adhesive strips. I never love having to apply the adhesive myself, but in this case it kind of makes sense because they include multiple mounting options. Compared to the other raceways I've tested, the plastic feels a little more flexible and less prone to cracking. It also has larger openings that make it easier to fit those thick cables through. Price-wise, about $20 feels fair, and overall, if you want a clean, cables disappear under the desk type look, this is one of the best raceway kits I've tried. So were these 5 Amazon picks legit? I can see a reason to buy each one of them, but the Zilink fabric tray and the grommet USB hub are the ones I'd reach for first if I was setting up a new desk today.